Hey everyone, my name is Layla and today I want to show you 3 fragrances that I think are very good alternatives to quite a expensive niche brand called Initio Perfumes, and I think these fragrances can substitute and can replace somehow those quite expensive and sometimes not even affordable fragrances. I want to start with one of the bestsellers, the fragrance that is inspired by one of the bestsellers from Initio. It's called Oud for Greatness, and this fragrance is from Lattafa. It's a Emirati brand, and I think once you see the packaging and the way how the bottle looks, you straight away understand what this fragrance tries to copy. It's called Oud for Glory. Even the name I think is very here. The Oud for Glory is here, right? Even the name of the fragrance, it tries, doesn't even try to hide what they are trying to copy. However, I must admit that the packaging is quite good for that price. In UAE you can buy it within $20, something like that. The packaging is quite decent. I mean, it's not bad. The fragrance inside lays on this velvety pillow, and the bottle itself is also good. It's quite surprisingly good, It has a matte finish, and it's quite, pleasant to touch, and it's quite heavy, which is also very important. And this plate, it's metallic. It's made out of metal, and the lid is also made out of metal. It's quite heavy and it's rubberized and also quite pleasant to hold, in your hands. The fragrance itself is really good in case if you are a fan of the original Oud for Greatness. I'm not. I must admit that I have to tell this because for me, Oud for Greatness as well as Oud for Glory, they both have a very prominent reminiscence with Baccarat Rouge 540, because both of them have the overdose of saffron. Baccarat Rouge also has that overdose of saffron that gives that medicinal vibe that unfortunately I'm very sensitive to. When I was talking about the Baccarat Rouge fragrance, I said that it has the overdose of Evernail, which is a synthetic oak moss, but at the same time, it also has the overdose of saffron. I love saffron, don't get me wrong. I love saffron in a food especially. I love it in a sweets. I love it. I use it myself, especially when I cook pilaf, our national dish, when I cook our national soup, like from the national cuisine, from Azerbaijani cuisine, called kifta bozbash. I add there a bit of saffron, and it is really, it's like a little touch that makes the whole taste. It's very, I would say the saffron is the king of all spices in the Middle East as well as in our Azerbaijani cuisine, and I love saffron in sweets as well. I adore it. However, I know that if you put too much, if the overdose of saffron, it gives that very obvious and not pleasant for me personally medicinal vibe, which is like iodine, like betadine, like not that pleasant. Again, for me, I'm sensitive to it, but let's say my husband is not, because he likes Baccarat Rouge. Let's say when he smelled it, he liked it, and he also liked the first blast of this fragrance as well. Like he's not that sensitive again, though I don't like the first blast of this fragrance because it is very saffrony, let's say. So like it has that blast of saffron, the overdose of it. And if you're fine with it, then the most probably you will like this fragrance. And again, if you are a fan of the original one, the most probably you will like this one as well, because they're very similar. I like more the middle and the base note of this fragrance, because the middle note has more patchouli, it has some sweetness, it has a little bit of amber, it has a bit of oud, but oud here is not that, animalic barnyard oud. No, it is very pleasant type of oud, not very prominent, not harsh. So again, for me, this fragrance is really pleasant in the base and in the middle and the base notes. So again, if you're looking for a replacement for the Oud for Greatness, I think Lattafa's Oud for Glory from the Badi Al Oud collection, I think is a very good choice, a very good option. And the next fragrance is another inspired one by another fragrance from Initio, and it is also one of the best sellers from that brand. It's called Atomic Rose, and this one is called Amethyst. So it's also from the Badi Al Oud collection, and it's called Amethyst. The color of the bottle is the same like the color of the Atomic Rose. It's also purple, and I like this fragrance much more than the previous one, just because it is my taste. It doesn't mean that the previous fragrance is not good enough, not at all, it is. It's just a question of taste, you know. I like the combination of rose. It has two types of rose here. I believe it has Bulgarian rose and it has Turkish rose, I think. And it has lots of pink pepper that I also like. And what I also like is a patchouli. It has a very prominent patchouli accord here. And yes, it is quite similar to Atomic Rose, but I would say not in the beginning, but again, mostly in the heart and base. They are very similar. So this one, from the initial blast, gives you a very, very peppery, you know, vibe. It's very pink pepper type of fragrance, like a bit berry like, but I love it. I love this combination of pink pepper, patchouli and rose. This is like a classical combination and I'm a big fan of it. I got a compliment from my husband when I sprayed this fragrance. It's interesting that probably he reacted to the mixture of this two, because I sprayed both of them on one hand, and when he came and sat next to me, he said, "It smells really good. What is that?" I showed him these fragrances and he said, "Well, this is something that even I can use, even men can use." So I think both of these fragrances are very androgynous and can be used by both genders, like men and women, easily. Both of them, by the way, because this is again a classical mixture of rose and patchouli. It's classical, it doesn't have any gender, and as well as this one, it's quite oudi. And by the way, this one also has some oud, but I don't smell it here. I would say that the oud here is more woody, not oudi. This is how I see this fragrance. Really nice, very good performance for both of them. It lasts long, it has a projection, it has a sillage, and because of, you know, my husband doesn't notice all of the fragrances on me, however he noticed this too, and he made a compliment. He liked both of them, and which means that at least this fragrance has quite a good projection, and it wasn't just freshly sprayed. He saw me after about 30 minutes after that, so it has quite a good projection, and also I believe the sillage, because I can smell this fragrance when I spray it, and after that I can smell it in the room when I come back to the room. So very good, very budget, very affordable alternatives with a very good packaging, by the way, again, and again the price is great. And the very last one is my favorite from today's list. Is a fragrance from another Arabic brand, but this one is not that budget like the previous two. This one is within $60 to $70 range. I'm talking about Attar Collection's Azalea, and this fragrance is fragrance inspired by another Initio's bestseller, which is Psychedelic Love. It's a bit hard to open, but the bottle looks like this, and I think it's a nice purple color bottle. It's ceramic of very high quality. This one is metal and also quite heavy. Like the packaging is also very good, and the fragrance itself is a very pleasant and dense, thick, feminine, and somehow people might say even mature, but I can say it's very sensual concoction of flowers, and this is orchid. This is ylang ylang, and ylang ylang is very prominent. It's beautiful. It has some heliotrope, just a tiny bit of powdery aspect, and it has mirror, and mirror here is also very prominent. I would say the two notes that I can smell here the most is the ylang ylang plus mirror, and they are gorgeous, just gorgeous. And by the way, I also got a compliment to this fragrance from my husband. He liked it as well. It is not a summer type fragrance. It is not at all. It's like, it's a fragrance for, it's very autumnal, I would say. I would say from today's list, probably only only Amethyst is the, like you can wear it in the summertime, like summer evening, like cool summer evening. All the rest, I would say, are very autumnal. They're warm, like sensual type fragrances that I can see mostly on a cold weather. However, it's up to you. You can wear whatever you want, whenever you want. It's totally the question of taste. And this one is really nice. I loved it, and it is like, again, for me, very warming up, feminine, sensual, thick, dense. Yes, some people will say quite mature, but I love fragrances like this. Recently, I don't know, I adore the fragrances like this, thick, dense, feminine fragrances, floral ones. I just, you know, I'm growing, you know, I'm getting older. That's why my taste changes more towards the more mature fragrances. It's normal. That's why I like this fragrance a lot, like a lot, and I'm going to wear it a lot when the weather becomes a bit cool. So the performance of the Azalea is also really good. It lasts long, it has good projection. At least again, my husband noticed it and he liked it, and he noticed it, you know, in a sillage, because when I sprayed it in the room, then I went out, then I came back, and he came after 30 minutes and he said, you know, I can smell very good, you know, fragrance here. What is that? It smells really nice. So this is something that flies in the air, like it spreads. So it's nice. The quality wise, this fragrance is really nice. And yes, it is very similar to Psychedelic Love from Initio, especially in the middle notes and the base. The start probably again can be a little bit different. However, it worth all the money for me, for my taste personally. So I believe that's it for today. I hope this review was useful. It will help you to save you money, and if it will, please don't forget to support me with a thumbs up. I'll be very thankful, and I'm very grateful. I will be very happy. And if you have any of today's fragrances, please let me know what you think about them, and do you have any other options that can substitute a very expensive, again, especially nowadays, fragrances from Initio. If you have any options, please let me know in the comments section. I'll be very happy to read your comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching me, and I'm back in track. I believe I will start making my weekly videos as I used to. I have moved from Dubai to Abu Dhabi now, and from Abu Dhabi I came back to like for vacation. I came back home to Baku, to Azerbaijan. Now I'm filming from Baku. So anyway, I'll try to, you know, do it regularly how I used to. So thanks a lot, and I hope to see you in my next video next week. Bye guys.